Welcome back to the Sunday Best. It's an in-depth look at the best book I read this week. This week's best is The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. Adrienne has been a New York Times bestseller several times over with the Sky and Sea duology, the Fable series, and Spells for Forgetting. She lives in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina, and we can very much see that small town mountain setting come out in the book. The Unmaking of June Farrow is steeped in magical realism, fantasy, mystery, and romance. In the small mountain town of Jasper, North Carolina, the Farrow women are known for two things: their flower farm and their curse. While she's sitting at her grandmother's funeral, June can't help but think about how it's only a matter of time before she, like all the other women in her family, starts to show signs of the sickness. Nobody knows what causes the Farrow women to go mad, but they all do. June hasn't told anyone yet, but she's been tracking her episodes for a year already. She's hearing voices and seeing things that aren't really there. June receives a piece of mail from her gran 2 days after her death with a photo that's dated from 1911. The photo is of the town minister whose murder in the 1950s was never solved, and June's mother, who hasn't been seen or heard from in years. When June begins to investigate the mystery of her family and the photo, she eventually tells both her best friend Mason and Bertie, who she describes as the third member of her family, being her gran's very best and oldest friend, that the curse is beginning to affect her. June tells Bertie that she's been hallucinating a red door, an ominous male figure, a voice, wind chimes, and a song. Bertie is alarmed that June has been seeing things for a year already and instructs her to try and go through the door the next time she sees it. Bertie gives June a letter with an address, a pressed flower, and the words, "Trust me." So June goes to the address, sees the door, and goes through it. And that's where the story really takes off, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you. This story is about family loyalty, finding out who you are, love, and sacrifice. June is the embodiment of a strong and unrelenting woman who is fighting to change the fate that she knows she faces. This book was full of twists and turns and surprises that I never saw coming, and I cannot recommend it enough. It was definitely a 5-star read for me. Thank you so much for joining me for the Sunday Best. If you've read The Unmaking of June Farrow, congratulations on reading a spectacular book. And if not, I hope your TBR is officially one book longer. Happy reading.